Hello again. Thanks for joining me. Today, I think we're going to talk about how to extract information out of PrivIQ. You know, your compliance journey has been going for some time now, and you'd like to get a feel for how things might be progressing. So what have we covered in previous videos? Well, we looked at data mapping. We understood, why it's important to build a foundation, understand whose personal data we're processing, what types of personal data are we processing, what gives us the lawful basis, who are we disclosing personal information to, and then how that information, then once completed, would then inform your record of processing activities and in governance, as well as your privacy notice templates. Also in governance, we found that we have a number of um, uh, policies and other documents. We can also add our own policies and other documents as well. And then once we're happy with those, we can then circulate those amongst the employees as well. Then your data mapping also informed the processes or operators, and we went to look at how we then need to maintain those relationships, including ensuring that we have the proper signed contracts as well. Data mapping also informs your data subject access area because this area is dependent on data mapping, because we need to go and look for certain information that will, help us to process the data subject access request. Then we also looked at how we respond to incidents that involve personal data. And then also looked at this compliance area, which is essentially all of the controls that help us manage the ongoing operational risk in areas like HR and information security, etc. Okay, so now we're in a position where we want to look at the kind of information that we can extract. Now, the first area we'll look at is this assessment report. In some templates, that might be called a compliance monitor, but it is the same thing. So let's go and have a look at what we can find out in the assessment report. So here we can see all the sections within the app, and it's a matter of selecting whatever section that you want to see. So let's just say, for example, we're interested in compliance, and we also want to see the notes that have been added to those various tasks. And in this case, let's just say that we want to see all of them. Okay, it's simply a case of clicking Load Report. And then this is how it manifests on screen, exactly as it appears in those compliance sections. And then you can also download it either to PDF or to Excel. So quite simple. If you need to run another report, simply reselect Load Report and then decide whether you want to download it. Okay, so that's the first area. Then we can also look at the dashboard. Now with the dashboard, nothing is downloadable, but this gives you a high-level snapshot again of your compliance, how your compliance journey is going. And in this case here, you can actually see the compliance areas, which are the controls in both in summary and in detail. And if you wanted to, you have access to more than one organization, you can actually select from the drop-down and just add them to the dashboard. And all the way to your data mapping, you can look at the completeness of your data mapping. You can look at your processes. Processes, for example, where in the world do we have processes? How many of them are actually signed? So in this case, we've only got one of them that's signed. And then up to your task, for example, where you can actually view the tasks by section, and we can display all the sections here, or you can view it by task owner or by responsible person. But that's essentially the dashboard, another way of viewing the information. Then we come to this reports where we can actually run an Excel extract, or we can actually run a risk report. So here we can, in any of these sections, we can actually, let's just say, for example, you were interested in the processes. So you might want to identify a data process that could assist with a particular data subject access request. That's just one idea of how you could use the information. I mean, you could use it for anything that might be relevant. You can use the filter if you want to filter it out. You click download to Excel, and it extracts all of the information to the Excel report. Okay. If you want to run the risk report, here you can actually select the various control sections. Let's just say, for example, we're interested in information use and security. We'll select that. We can add any content that we want to include in the report, and then click download PDF. Okay, and we can then let's just go and look at the PDF, and those are the sections that we selected, the mitigated versus unmitigated, all the various graphs, compliance section by status, probability and impact score, all the way through to the details of the sections that we extracted. And the kind of things we'd be interested in here is what the status is. And here we can see all of these have not been assigned. That's also a risk. And that's something that you'd want to address. Okay, so let's go back to the app. Okay, so that's another way that we can extract information. And then finally, we come to the real-time audit. Now, with the real-time audit, you'll see here that we've got something called Q1 2025, and that's on the comparison stack. And any subsequent reports that are run, if that information that is in the new report is also in Q1 2025, then it will be compared like we could see with Q2 2025. If we just go into there quickly, you can see this is compared to all of this information is in Q1 2025, so it is comparing to Q1 2025. Then it's a simple case of going to whichever checklist that you want. So for example, let's just say you wanted to go into consent. It takes you directly to the section. You can then go and manage all of the maintenance within that particular section. Come back and you recalculate, and then what it does is it shows you any improvements will be in green, and any sort of retrogression would be in red, and those are the ones that you want to attend to as well. And then this in turn, once you were happy with all of the maintenance, you could also mark this as complete, and then add it to the comparison stack. Then this one in term Q2 25 would be the one that is compared against. And then you can actually, forgot to show you how you create one. You actually create new audit, give it a name. In this case, maybe it was going to be Q3 2025. Then, whatever sections you want to select, click score on audit, it then creates the report. The other cool thing is that you can actually create an auto run schedule. So let's just say that every month, starting from May, whenever, I want to run a complete report at the last day of each month. Okay, and then the system will automatically create it for you. The nice thing with that is that you can maintain a spreadsheet for each month of the year, and then you can actually, you'll be able to recognize any trends in terms of the compliance journey and any particular areas that may need to be addressed, etc. Okay, so those are the ways that we can extract information. Hopefully this is going to help you. And then hopefully join me in the next section, the next session rather, where we're going to talk about how to run a risk assessment. Thanks again for joining me.